Today, we will talk about how to build an emergency fund. Having some extra funds available for emergencies is an essential component of your overall financial well-being, with enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses being a common recommendation. For many people, though, that can add up to an intimidating number and can discourage even the best-intentioned saver. But don't give up before you start. The game of saving is mostly psychological, and you can win it. Even if you're starting from zero, regularly setting money aside, even in small amounts, will eventually get you to your goal. It just takes time and a little discipline. If you're ready to begin, and especially if you think you can't, here are 5 suggestions that might make building your emergency fund easier. What will you need? While some call having 1 to 2 months' wages in reserve ideal, most financial experts say that the recommended emergency fund amount should cover 3 to 6 months' worth of household expenses. That's a great idea and a key part of any sound financial plan, but it also requires some effort to achieve. The first step of the process is to figure out how much you spend each month. Consumer expenditure figures released in April 2023 by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates that the average annual expenditure per consumer unit, which is similar to a household, was $60,060 in 2023, the most recent year for which data is available. This data is broken down by month in the table below. The months in bold highlight the cumulative quarterly expenses, and therefore the recommended cash reserve for the average household. While your household expenses may be higher or lower than the average, there's no doubt that even 3 months' worth of expenses is a big number. One look at that number, and the average person's first reaction is, "I can't come up with that kind of money." Why so much? The amount of money required to populate a proper emergency fund is certainly significant. But we live in uncertain times with uncertain economies, especially in the wake of the coronavirus. Corporate loyalty is a thing of the past, and unemployment can happen unexpectedly, usually at the worst possible moment. Even without a global crisis, emergencies such as sudden illness or disability, major car repairs, or a new roof can be expensive, and there's never a good time for these things to happen. While it's probably true that you don't have an extra $15,015 lying around, everything is relative. Even 6 months' worth of expenses is a puny number compared to the amount you will need to save for retirement. And there's not a savvy investor out there who balks at the idea of stashing away so much money that they will never need to work again. When compared to what you'll need over the course of 20 or 30 years in retirement, 3 months' worth of expenses doesn't look like much. Where to put the money? Money market funds and high-interest savings accounts are 2 good places to park your emergency fund. You need safe, liquid options so that your money is accessible in times of need. These choices make it harder for you to dip into it, and you'll also earn a bit of return on the money. Trade on the go, anywhere, anytime. One of the world's largest crypto asset exchanges is ready for you. Enjoy competitive fees and dedicated customer support while trading securely. You'll also have access to Binance tools that make it easier than ever to view your trade history, manage auto investments, view price charts, and make conversions with 0 fees. Make an account for free and join millions of traders and investors on the global crypto market. 1. Set several smaller savings goals rather than one large one. Set yourself up for success from the start. Rather than shooting for 3 months' worth of expenses right away, shoot for 1 month or 2 weeks, whatever it takes to make your first goal seem doable. Reaching that first goal can give you the motivation to keep going. Set your second goal higher and the third even higher. By then, saving will have become a habit, and the positive motivation you're building by reaching the smaller goals will help propel you toward larger ones. 2. Start with small, regular contributions. Set your initial contribution level at a relatively small amount. That'll ensure you don't stress your cash flow, making it too easy for you to rationalize abandoning your savings routine. Find something in your life you can live without, or with less, trim back the monthly coffee habit a bit. Pass on that new pair of shoes or one big night out. Choose that amount, whether it's $5 or $100, and commit to saving it at regular intervals, per month, per week, or per paycheck. The key is that it needs to become a habit, not a recurring struggle. 3. Automate your savings. Out of sight, out of mind. The easiest way to save money is never to touch it in the first place. Most employers provide direct deposit, and some will even deposit to more than one account. Set up a separate account just for your emergency fund and have your chosen contribution amount deposited automatically, either by your employer or your bank. Use a savings or other type of account that you can't access easily, unlike a checking account. Chances are you won't miss it. And don't watch the account balance continually. That will only make growth seem smaller and slower. Forget about it and let time do its thing. 4. Don't increase monthly spending or open new credit cards. Once saving has become automatic, don't be lulled into a false sense of financial security and let spending creep up again. For example, if you gave up a new pair of shoes every month only to replace them a couple of months later with a new monthly shopping habit, you're not saving at all. If you still have an extra $50 left over each month, maybe your savings deposit amount is too low. If you don't have an extra $50, you may be running up a credit card balance. Neither is productive. You shouldn't stop enjoying life while you build your emergency fund. But you shouldn't lose sight of its importance either. Having an adequate emergency fund is critical to your financial well-being. Be realistic, but try to reach your ultimate savings goal as fast as you can. That alone might make life more enjoyable. 5. Don't oversave. Or more accurately, don't devote too much of your savings to your emergency fund. By definition, an emergency fund is a cash you can access quickly. That means you are most likely storing it in a low-yield vehicle like a savings account that is earning an extremely low rate of interest. For that reason alone, you should stop contributing to that account once you've reached your ultimate goal. Start depositing into an account where it will start earning money on its own, ideally your retirement account, where time will enable it to bear the most fruit. View your emergency fund like an insurance policy. Once you have it, guard it carefully. It's not a piggy bank. You should not use it for incidental expenses. In fact, as your salary rises, be sure to up the amount to match your new situation. Use the fund only in the event of an emergency, and spend it carefully when you do need to draw on it. Remember, once that money is spent, it always takes much longer than anticipated to replace it. Start now and save whatever you can, even if it isn't much. Having an emergency fund gives you a better shot at weathering a crisis without running up a credit card balance or taking out a personal loan. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.